So I took my time to finish coloring this project as I ended the first day working on it and into my second. I added color with the permanent markers and I added some Sharpie designs on top with the black, doing some outlining and some design work, just making this really look like the Mexican art that we talked about. Now I'm ready to start the weaving. So this is going to be our tracing pattern for the weaving. And it doesn't matter how it fits on there, upside down or turned. What I'm looking to do is fit this plate onto the tracer. So now where all these little lines are, I'm going to make a line on the flat part of my plate. I'm not going up the side of it, just where all these little dashes are. If you count them, there are 13, which is an odd number, and having an odd number is super important for the weaving part. I'm going to take this off. I am done with that tracer already, and now I'm going to cut a little slit, and I'm cutting to almost exactly where that metal is, but I'm also stopping when it gets to the flat part of the plate where our food would sit. So not a lot of cutting, almost just like one little snip for me. And I'm doing that on all 13. And then I'm ready for a little bit of yarn and some taping. I'm going to flip this over. There are pieces of yarn spread throughout the art room that have already been cut. There are actually some leftover pieces of yarn. And this yarn is about 4 or 5 feet long. So it's quite a bit of yarn. I am going to take one little tail end and I'm going to put it into one of the slits, and I'm going to put it all the way in so it's at the bottom of my cut. Leaves me one little tail. I am going to just leave that tail, and what I'm going to do with the yarn is I'm going to go in or on top, and then I'm going under the next tab and coming on top, under this next one. And as you can see, there's a pattern of on top, under, on top, under, on top. I am doing this all the way around the plate with my first piece of yarn, going in and out of those tabs. I'm almost to that spot I started on, and when I do that, it's actually going to be opposite. So I keep going in, and now where I was on top in the first row, my next row is actually going to be underneath that tab. So as I work around the second time, I'm going to cover all of those tabs. What really works nice is if you use several different colors for this weaving, you really start to see the pattern. So with this first piece of yarn, I am almost done with my second row, and I'm actually starting a third row right here. So now I'm on my third row, or third time around, and you can see that I'm starting my actual second row of yarn on those tabs. So I'm getting less and less yarn. When I run out, I want to run out on the back side so that all of my tails are on the back side of the plate. I just go in and out. I'm lifting these tabs to help me get in and out. Almost there. Short little tail left. Let's see, can I make it? Oh, I did make it all the way. So that this little tail, is exactly where I started. That's not going to happen every time. But those two tails on the back, I really don't need to tie or tape or glue or anything. They're pretty stuck there. So now I'm ready for another piece of yarn. I am going to start this piece of yarn exactly where I ended. So I'm putting a little tail right here. And now I'm just going to continue in that same circle, going in and out. And I'm going to go around and around. And as I look, I think that I need to backtrack, because now some of these are getting 3 pieces of yarn and this one only has 1. I'm actually going to start right there. I think that's where my pattern is supposed to be. Got that little tail in the back. And I'm ready to continue. So I would say that on the day 2 of this project, you're going to weave as many strings or pieces of yarn as you can. If I look at my finished example, I have a brown, a blue, a yellow, a red, and a white. Oh, and there is a purple in here. So I have 6 different strands of yarn, and that filled the plate pretty full. I can't really go all the way to the end, or it'll just pop off the plate. This is a pretty finished piece of artwork that will go in the drying rack by my number spot.